Hi, today I'm going to show you how to take attendance from SeeSaw and put it into PowerSchool. So the first thing that we're going to do after we get logged in, on the front page, there is a link called Get Student Activity Report. So I'm going to click on that, and it just says that they're going to send me a activity report for the last 7 days. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I click on that just to acknowledge that. And while it's running, it's just going to take a few minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to PowerSchool, and we're going to find out how many kids were doing quarantine COVID. I'm going to find out how many of those kids were using those codes. So I'm going to start with clicking on attendance, and then I'm going to click on attendance count. So from here, I'm going to choose all the students, and I'm going to choose the COVID, quarantine. I'm holding down the control key while choosing these codes, and emergency excused. And then I'm going to start, and I'm going to look at the students who were doing this activity starting on November 2nd and ending through November today, which is great. And I got to change the year there, through the 9th. I don't want to choose the period, so just go ahead and leave those. From here, I'm going to change the minimum number of occurrences to 1. And so it looks for any student who has had one code at any part of the day throughout that week. So I click on submit, and it takes just a minute for it to run. And it's done. So I can click on view. And those are your 11 students who have at least one of those codes for the last week. So I'm going to click on functions, and what that does is it makes it the current student selection. So if I go to the start page, I can actually see those students. So Emily Beatty was one of those kiddos. So I'm going to go to my email, and I'm going to, it looks like I already got that email. So I'm going to click on that email, and I'm going to open it up. And from there, it gives me a report by student. It's just a link, and what it does is it downloads it for you so that you can see the activity for those kiddos for all the students at Belfield for that week. So I'm going to click on save, and I've already downloaded it. I wanted to practice a little bit, so I'm going to click on yes. And once it gets done, I'm going to go ahead and open it. So I'll bring it over here for you to see. And to make your life a little easier, I'm going to show you how you can change the spreadsheet so it's easier to see. So if I delete this first row, and if I click on B2, what I can do is I can click on View, Freeze Panes, Freeze Panes. So what that does for me is it freezes the top row and it freezes the first column, so it's easier to see. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this corner here, and then I'm going to double click. And what that does is it makes the columns wide enough so you can see everything for the column headings and the name. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to go look at Emily Beatty. So Emily Beatty was my first kiddo that I wanted to look at, and I want to scroll over because you can see in the spreadsheet the days that they were active. So Emily Beatty is in row 107. And it might be easy for you to highlight those. So what you can do is if you want to see those kiddos easily, you can highlight it. Okay, so it makes it easy to see. So I can see that she was not active on the 2nd, but she wasn't on the 3rd and the 4th and the 6th. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. And I'm going to go to Emily Beatty. I'm going to go back to PowerSchool, click on Emily Beatty. And then I want you to click on attendance. So attendance. So now let's come down here, and I'm going to go to this. So the 2nd through the 6th. And we said that she was active on, let's go look at this. She was active on the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th of last week. So if I look at Emily in PowerSchool, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th. So right here, I don't have to change anything because she was already engaged on those 2 days. Okay. If she was absent, what I would do, I would change this to quarantine absent and click in those codes and then hit submit. I'm not going to do that because obviously this is just an example. Let's go to the next one, see what we get. Okay, Charlie de la Cueva. So if I go over to the spreadsheet and I go to Charlie de Cueva, she was active on the 2nd, the 3rd, but not the 4th. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go find the week that we were working on. And I said she was active on the 2nd and the 3rd, not the 4th. So if I come over here, 2nd, the 3rd, but not the 4th. So here's where I'm going to choose quarantine absent because she already has a QT in there. And I'm going to change this to quarantine absent. The other thing I might do, just to be sure, add to the comment. So I can say, did not log into SeeSaw for this date. I'll put my initials in there. His initials are always good. So I'm going to click on OK, and then I'm going to click submit. All right, so that kiddo has been taken care of. So what you need to do is go through each of your students. So the next thing I do is go to 7 Denton. 7, I come over here and he's right here. It doesn't look like he logged in at all. So for this kiddo, we're going to go back and see if he was, yes, he was emergency excused. So here I need to do a EMG absent, and I'm going to say, did not log into SeeSaw GF. Okay, and again with this one, did not log into SeeSaw GF. Okay. And again, remember to change all of the periods and go ahead and click submit. So we've done a few examples of how to take attendance for a student in the past for students that have attendance codes of COV, QT, and EMG. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.